Good morning, Flosstube. It is Helen D. I'm filming today on Monday, October 27th. I've just gotten in the habit that I film on Mondays and post on Tuesdays because sometimes the uploading process is not fast. So this way I know I'm good to go. I hope everyone's doing well, and thank you for joining me today to talk all things cross-stitch. It's a normal, regular update with normal, regular things. What I've been working on, what I've been finishing. And I haven't been finishing a lot. This was a finishing week. When I was trying to figure out what's been going on the last 2 weeks. Not much. Regular stuff, school, driving around, visiting with my parents because they were getting ready to head back to Florida, and a lot of finishing. I kind of pulled out some stuff that needed to be done. I have a swap coming up that I needed to get my piece finished for. I just recorded a little clip to show you when I put together my secret stitching, what I've been working on. So that one got done, and then as soon as I had the sewing machine out, it was like, what else could I get done? And I picked a project that was a project. So we'll show you that. That's about it. So we'll jump right in because most of it's just finishing. I did put out a video last week. This was part of the finishing, was I finished the little bottles by Emma Congdon of Stitchrovia. These are in the October issue of Cross Stitcher magazine. So I did do a tutorial. This was classic cat puke with the cats on the back. And then this is the bowling pin. And then this one, my husband says, looks like it's giving you the finger. This is Web of Lies. The potion bottle. So this one I used, I don't even know if I showed, I used this pretty one on the back. So those are my two potion bottles, and they were back there, and I just grabbed them to show you. I did these 25 count, 3 strands over 2 squares because I wanted them bigger. This one's like 4 inches and this one's probably 6.5. It's just enough that it hits up there. I have to tuck it behind. So there's those. Then I pulled out, like I said, the secret stitch, and then the other one I pulled out was Frightful Assembly, which was the Erica Michaels piece that I started working on the beginning of the year. I didn't bring the chart pack. The chart pack had a whole bunch of different designs. You could do them as one big piece, you could do them as pillows, you could do them as berries. They were all in there. It was a big, thick chart pack. So I did 5 berries and 3 pillows. And I know I'm gonna use it as the picture for this video. So you've already seen them. So, Frightful Assembly. This one isn't stitched as a berry. This is the only one not as a berry because it was kind of like the overall piece, I guess, on the big one, kind of the title piece. But I decided to stitch it as a pillow. Now these fabrics, this is the Helen D's Halloween Medley. It was a fat quarter. I used 32 count Lugana, and they kind of created this colorway with me so that it was one piece of fabric, but it had the 4 different colors on it. So that way you got 4 different colorways that all kind of go together, and you only had to buy one piece of fabric. So Frightful Assembly was one of the pillows. Then we had Festival of Mummies. And I used just a basic black, and I used a basic black. I love a pom-pom, so a basic black pom-pom. Festival of Mummies and a Frightful Assembly. In this one, even though I probably should have paid attention and not done 2 of my pillows in blue, they kind of look a little different just because of the way the fabric was, so. There's those. And then the berries, I have Colony of Bats. They all have the same top, which I'll show you. Coven of Witches. Murder of Crows. Lunacy of Werewolves. And Congress of Ghosts. I think this one's my favorite. The white really pops with her swirly ghosts. So for all of them on the tops, I did 3 layers of black felt. Linda Stoltz of Erica Michaels is always saying, you know, layer, layer, layer. So I layered. So I have 3 layers. I have like a largish kind of star-shaped flower, and then one a little smaller that I put on top of that. And then I took a little square and I just cut it with pinking shears to give it a little bit of dimension. Tacked that all down. And when I do berries, I sew my berry up and close up the top, and I do have a tutorial where I talk about this. Then I put my whole top together before I put it on the berry, because then it's just, I wouldn't dare do it the other way. It would be very difficult. So I couldn't figure out what I was going to use, like for ribbon or whatever. And then I found this in my stash. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was in a grab bag from Lady Dot. It doesn't feel like her regular ribbon, but it might have been for a special project. So I put a little ribbon, and then these buttons were from Scarlet Sky Designs. They were in her, she did a Halloween box last year. So there were 5 buttons. It was 2 ghosts and 3 of these glittery bats. And I've been holding on to them all year because I knew they'd look great on these. And I did on the edges of my ribbon, when I cut it, I took clear nail polish and I just put just a little smidge to kind of keep it from fraying. And I thought, you know, if it kind of soaks in and it looks bad, I can just cut it off, but it was fine. So those are my berries. They're little buttons. So they'll all kind of go together. I think I was planning on putting them in that little tiered tray. They might not even go out this year. We'll see. But they are done and ready for next year. And honestly, I was kind of surprised. I fell behind on that and I didn't know if I'd get them done, but surprised to myself I did. So that's what I fully finished. And then for actual stitching, I actually stuck to my plans, surprisingly. I had said that there were a bunch of pieces that I kind of wanted to focus on to get them done by the end of the year, and that's what I did. I had one new start, but it was a kind of planned new start. So, and it's in this bag. It's on the top. So my son this year has really gotten into Magic the Gathering. It's a card game. So I had bought a chart on Etsy. I should have pulled this up before. I haven't been too bad with my purchases on here, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. I had bought this chart and it has them in a circle. It was from Alloon Crafts from New Zealand. So it was this chart where they're in a circle. And right, this was going to be fine. I was going to do this. But then in my searching of other Magic the Gathering things, I saw a different item that was, that I must have unfavorited. It was the Magic the Gathering symbols done on a plastic canvas and finished in a box, like a cube. And I thought, oh, I'm going to take the designs from my circle and finish them as a cube. So I popped on a PC Stitch, which is what I have and it's ancient, and I figured out with my husband's help, because there was math involved, how to lay them out so that I can end up making a cube. So like this is actually upside down as I'm stitching it. So this is one of the symbols for mana. It's their energy kind of stuff. So when I'm done, theoretically, I will be able to origami my way around, fold all the pieces in, and sew it up as a cube. So we'll see how that works. I'll have to do a line of backstitch all the way around, and it will basically look like a T with a little bit on the top, and then we're in it together, folks. This one is on a 25 count, 3/2, and I don't even know what it was. Stone? I don't have the tag. I think it was called Stone. It was just a Zweigart that I got on 1, 2, 3 stitch. So this is kind of the size of that one side will be. I'm pretty much done with the one side. So that's an experience. I've been working on this at pickups. When I'm in the car, I've been working on that. because it's on the 25 count, so it's a little easy to see. The main one that I worked on was the Holiday House Stitch Along from Satsuma Street. Who just teased that they're having, Jody Rice is going to have her annual Christmas ornaments out in November, which is the typical time that she does them. So I was way behind on this. Oh, I'll have to pop it off. I was way behind. This was part 3, and it came out when I was at Stitch New England, so I didn't start it until almost a week after it came out, and there was 3,000 something stitches over here. So then the next part is this adorable mouse and this giant roof and this little bit. So that's what I've been working on. This is a fabric, it's an older fabric of the month from Color and Cotton, a 28 count Lugana. I think I can get away with just one. Okay, so I finally got part 3 done. It took a long time. And then I moved up to part 4. So I did like the bones, I did the lines, and now I can just fill in. There's 3 or 4 colors, but I can fill in, and then this section I won't even have to count. I can just go up, and then my little mouse is gonna go here. The next section of this comes out this Thursday. I don't know if I'll be caught up yet or not, but that's okay. I was just glad I got those snowmen done. They took a long, long time. I'm using that Petite Silk Lame for the snow, but for the snow people, I decided not to. It's really just for kind of the outside fallen snow. And the little mouse is adorable. So there's that one. One of the other things I wanted to work on was to get up to date, up to speed with the Nature's Journey Stitch Along. So we'll be discussing this. We'll be discussing this more in a moment. So the picture, this is the one from Just Cross Stitch. It's a quarterly stitch along, and there's one in each of their issues, and it started with their spring issue of 2025. So it's kind of blocked out, but this is the autumn section. Okay, I'll leave that page. So here's where I'm at. This one is on 28 count Tundra from Mystic Fabrics, and I have spring and summer done. So that's where I'm at with my autumn. I have the moth done except for the little antenna, and then I'll start filling in this way. So here's that. Here's our discussion. So, and a few of us had this discussion when we were at Stitch New England. There were some people working on it. All right. So it probably will be a little hard to see in the magazine, right in the picture. In the other months, like there's some eggs in a little kind of nest looking circle, and then there's a yellow bird. Must be up here. There's a yellow bird in like a circle. December has like a cardinal. Here's this month's circle. Is that a bird skull? And if it is a bird, is anyone else is doing this? Are you gonna put something else there? I'm not sure I want a bird skull, but I don't know what else I would put. So I'm giving that some thoughts as to what can I replace this bird skull with. I had one thought. I take that back. I had one thought. I looked at some of Sprouting Lupine, who's the designers, some of their other charts, because they have downloads that you can get. And I'm tempted to get Mid-Afternoon Nature Walk, which the whole thing looks like this. But those little mushrooms, if I'm counting correctly, like I went to one of the close-up pictures they have, I think they're the right size, like these 4. And then I would just do them in the colorway from the magazine and put those right here. What do you think? I know there's other mushrooms here, but they're different. These ones are spotted mushrooms, and who doesn't love a spotted mushroom? So that's my thoughts. But if anyone else has done anything different, I'd love to hear it. I'm not there yet. it'll be a bit before I'm there. So let me know what you're thinking. Or if you're just sticking with it as is. And I mean, yes, it's nature and there are bird skulls, but I'd rather not. Okay. And then my last piece is a new start, is a purchase and a new start. And it is the pears from Annie B's. So I did sign up for the Jingle Ball, and I signed up for the pears class with Annie B's and Liz Matthews snow globe jars. I didn't print out the cover sheet because I just printed, it's black and white. But I have one pair done, so I got Noel done. My fabric is a 16 count Aida in Tango from Picture This Plus. It's that pink fabric, and I'm using Classic Colorworks antique lace for my white. So I have one pair done. It was 3 pairs, and then in the chart she gave you, there was a bonus pair, and it's really cute. It has a rocking horse on it. Now, let's go right to some more shopping. Thank you, everyone. I got a half yard of that fabric I want for the bag. It came from Colorado, Creative Traditions. Several people said they have some and they had it in stock online. I ordered it right up. So I ordered a half yard, and this will be my backing for the pears. Also, while we're doing the pears, a little tip that my friend Marissa, M. Kissa Creations, she showed on one of her videos a little bit ago. She was working with white, and people are always trying to figure out how do I get my white to lay right. And she had a tip that I've been using that I think is making a difference. So when I do a white floss, I don't do a loop start. I found that they look better if I pull 2 strands of floss and just do a regular start on the back. So that's kind of what she had. So if you have your 6 lengths of floss and you pull 2 of them off, or if you do them one at a time, but I usually go in here and I pull 2 of them off. Then what she had me do is, and naturally, I just got a knot in the bottom, take your 2 strands and pull them apart. Separate them out, and then let each one spin out on its own, and then put them back together. And this keeps, by not doing a loop start, all of the fibers of your floss are going in the same direction, right? Because if you loop start, you've got some going each way. So that's probably why by not doing the loop start, mine already looked better. But this really helps take a lot of the twisties out. And then I still, like, as I'm going, right, we'll do the old, oh, this one's not attached, but the drop the needle and let it spin. So just a little tip if you want to try it. If you pull them 1 strand at a time off, then just put them back together, but make sure they're facing the right direction, like the top is the top. So that's been working, because I think I'm pretty happy with how these look. I thought they looked pretty good. So I'm going to work on another one of those to try and get that done. I don't know if I'll get all 4 done. I have a full month, a little over a month, but I also have to do the Liz Matthews ones. I have to decide which one, because you're making the snow globe and she gives, there's like 21 different little motifs that you get to pick which ones. I'm not there yet. So, purchases, the fabric. My just cross stitch Christmas finally came in. My favorites. One of them, I bet you could guess. Right on page 9. It's called Meowie Catmas, and it is by Amy Graff of Color Me Amy X Stitch. It's these trouble cats right here. I'm gonna have to stitch that for my girls. And then there was a lot this year. My second favorite, if I had to pick, is probably the Fox. But there was a lot. There was a lot of good ones this year. 59. The fox is by Sunny Lofstrom of Three Tiny Owls. I like the colors. I love the shape of the fox, but I like the colors, the kind of cool greens. So those are my favorites, but there's lots more. And I'm sure there's flip-throughs of this. I know that Laura from Stitching by the Shore usually does flip-throughs of her cross-stitch magazines. Oh, and some trims. I was gonna say that's it, but the other thing I got was I needed some trims. I had the secret stitch that I was working on. I could not find a color that matched. I needed a red or a green. None of mine matched. And I have a lot of trims because I've bought a lot when Lady Dot used to do her bits bags. I would always snap them up because I love having a wide variety of trims. So I went on, and I've ordered from them before, hold on, to Purple Paper Mountain on Etsy, and they have a bunch of trims. And what I ended up getting was this new, it was a new to me trim, and they call it their Prim Chenille. So a regular chenille, right, is kind of fluffy. Actually, she gives you a little sample, and there's a regular chenille in here. I just gotta open it up. She also had some of this, the Tinsley stuff. All right. So here's a regular chenille. This is kind of a petite chenille, but right, it's more the kind of fluffy. So this Prim chenille is, it's almost like a wider eyelash chenille. Twisty twist. So it has like a central kind of vein and then these little bits. And when I sewed it on, I kind of was going around this little central vein, and then I just kind of fluffed up the sides of my pillows. No peeking. I fluffed up the sides of my pillows like this. And that's how I put that one together. So I ordered some of these, and her prices were great. So this was, I believe, 2 yards. I'll just look. You've already had to wait for having me look at stuff anyway, right? This way I won't tell you wrong. 2 yards, $1.95. And if you ordered 10 or more things, you got a 20% discount, so I ordered 10 things. I ended up getting the Prim Chenille and the cream, 2 different reds. This one's darker, it's probably not gonna show up, so this is Barn Red and Dark Red, although the Barn Red is darker than the Dark Red. I got 2 quantities of black, and when you order 2, she cuts them continuous if she can. So this is the black. I thought that would be good for Halloween. For the greens, I got pesto and kiwi. So this is pesto and kiwi. And I got a blue, classic blue. And then I got some of her pom-poms. She has 2 different kinds of pom-poms. One of them is the kind that you sew in, but then she does have the kind that you can cut off the string. So I cut these off just because I was curious. And they're a little more sparse than a Lady Dot pom-pom, but the price is fantastic. So I got black and wine red to try. So, and then she sent a little thank you that had some chenille, some rickrack, and some of this Tinsley stuff. Now this stuff looks great. It is a pain to sew on, but it looks great. It's kind of the same where it has like a central kind of vein, and then they spritz off the sides. I've used it before. Looks great. You may be pulling your hair out by the time you're done. So that's what I bought from them. So like I said, $1.95 for 2 yards. And her shipping was quick. It was not overly priced for shipping. It came from California. I ordered it on like a Monday and I had it by Friday, which was shocking. So now I've got tinsel bits everywhere. that is it. We have some giveaways and things, and I have a recommendation. So if you want some serious eye candy, like drool-worthy eye candy, Amanda May, Artist Design, and her friend Grace, who has started a Flosstube, the Midwife Stitcher, and I'll link both of them below. They recently went to an estate sale, I think in Maryland, and the stitcher asked her family to, you know, don't just give my stuff to Goodwill. Please get it in the hands of stitchers. And like drool worthy, fully finished. All the every single frame was gorgeous. Every piece was gorgeous. It made me want to pull out all my prairie schoolers and start them. So they went through. They did a few videos. They did one where they bought just a box of charts and they were going through the charts. But then they just posted the walkthrough of the estate sale, and it's like, wow! It was wow. So, and then before we get to the giveaways, I'm sure you've seen, what is Plum Street doing? Why does Paulette Stewart keep showing such gorgeous, giant pieces that I fall in love with? So this is her upcoming release. It's the Autumn Moon. And then she has not just one. I also love this one, which is the charcuterie board. I love those bats, kind of kooky bats. I think those will be on my Christmas list. So, all right, giveaways. Last week we had 5. So, it's really dark today. I had to pull this closer so I could see it. Number 1 was Pocket Neighborhood. This is a hands-on design chart that was donated by Carla at Cobweb Corner, who's getting ready. She's going to a retreat in France with Jen Hicks. Now I'm jealous of everything. I'm just here and it's gray and dull. Christine Buening, Buening, number 1. Number 2, Log Cabin. This is Cottage Garden Sampling. That almost went. This is Christine Hillis. Merry October. This is a Pass the Stash. Cori Holmberg. Number 4, Autumnal Sampler, Teresa Rogers. And number 5, Bent Creek, Black Cat, is Julie Watson. So my email is down below. Shoot me an email with which one you won and your address so I can get those up. So this week we have 4. Use the numerical number somewhere in your comment, and then I do the random comment picker. You have to be over 18 so you can legally give me your address, and don't say win or giveaway or any of those words. So number 1, we have a $15 gift card to Cobweb Corner. Probably want that to be US only because international shipping has gotten outrageous. So probably US only on that one. Number 2, the 2025 Prairie Schooler Santa. Right, and these I'll ship anywhere. So number 2, and then number 3 and 4 were actually given to me from Amanda May back at Market. They were some of her new Market releases, but they're holiday themed, so I held them. So number 3 is her Bows Aplenty tree, which honestly you could do in any colorway you wanted, and that uses some of that tinsely stuff. And then number 4 is Starlight Trees. This is an ornament. So that's those. All right. So, all right, now we will end this with Weird Helen Brain. So this morning, you know how sometimes things just pop in your head and you have no idea why. And then you can't get them out of your head. That's what happened to me today. So I woke up this morning with the full song lyrics, both parts, to Somewhere Out There from An American Tail running through my head. I had to look it up. That movie is from 1986. I mean, I know I saw it in the theater. Donna and I had the Fievel plush dolls. Yeah, both parts of Somewhere Out There, just singing away in my head. So that's been in my head all day. I'm sure things like that have happened to other people, but I'd love to hear it. If it's a song that gets stuck, or just you wake up with some random, what on earth was I dreaming about, that's what popped in my head. Not a clue. Not a clue. But now I want to rewatch An American Tail. When I told John, I said, I think that's one of the VHS tapes I have upstairs in a box. We don't even have a VHS player. I'm like, maybe that's worth money. Probably like 50 cents. So that I will leave you with that. And now, if you are singing somewhere out there in your head, you're welcome. Both parts. You gotta do both parts. That's all, you guys. I'll talk to you in a couple weeks. Bye.